So Sony is considering, and shockingly considering selling the rights back to Marvel after like the massive box office failure that is Kraven the Hunter. And of course, their whole like Sony Marvel universe, which I have no idea what they were going to do with that. Neither does probably Sony. Like, they didn't even know what they wanted to do with those characters. But after failure after failure after failure from those films, we can say that Sony definitely is not going to be making any more of these Sony Spider-Man villain Marvel spin-off movies. And it's evidently clear. I mean, they announced that they're going to stop, and they're solely just going to focus on Spider-Man. And I think they're going to focus on Spider-Man in the form of the Spider-Verse films, because I think they do a great job with those movies. And you can argue that it's probably not Sony doing it when it's really Sony Animation Picture Studios or whatever the name of that team is. Those guys, like, at least from what we saw from the first two Spider-Verse films, it seems like they put a lot of work and care and attention into those movies. I mean, those, you can call those people fans too of the source material. And that's why those movies are so good. And animation, again, like always, it takes really long to do. That's why we haven't gotten a third one yet. I think we should have gotten the third one by some point earlier this year, if anything. But it's been delayed, I think, indefinitely. So hopefully we get a third one soon. But still, this is really shocking, to say the least, because this is something that all of us Marvel fans have been wanting. We've been wanting Spider-Man to be a part of the MCU for quite some time, and we got that finally back in 2017 when Captain America Civil War came out and Spider-Man made his first appearance in the MCU then. Still, even though Spider-Man is in the MCU now, technically Marvel Studios has no complete control over the character because they can't do whatever they want with the character. We'd be seeing him a little bit more frequently, honestly, if Marvel Studios had a little bit more control over Spider-Man, but Sony has full control over that, so that's why we don't see him as often. But anyway, I have the article here pulled up, and this is coming from GameRant.com, and it says Sony considering a shocking Spider-Man decision after the Kraven the Hunter bomb. And it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the Kraven the Hunter movie was going to bomb. So a new Spider-Man rumor claims that Kraven the Hunter's disastrous box office numbers have Sony considering a decision about the web slinger's future that fans may find too good to be true. And again, this is a rumor, so don't take everything I'm talking about like as a fact. Take it with a huge grain of salt. The Sony Spider-Man Universe franchise decision to exclude the wall crawler seemingly worked out when Tom Hardy's Venom and its sequel led to Be Carnage's debut to box office success despite a mixed response from audiences. However, subsequent Sony Spider-Man Universe movies like Morbius and Madam Web have bombed at the box office, with even Venom 3 falling short of its predecessors. That losing streak continued when Kraven the Hunter grossed at $11 million in its opening weekend, below the projected $13 million to $15 million, and the worst debut of any Sony Spider-Man movie universe ever. Amid Kraven the Hunter's box office crash, notable scooper My Time to Shine Hello claimed they heard that Sony is seriously considering the Spider-Man IP back to Marvel. Hold on, I don't think I read that right. They claim that they heard Sony is seriously considering the Spider-Man IP back to Marvel. Okay, they left out, this is a typo, they left out the word selling or something, so it would make sense if they said Sony is seriously considering selling the Spider-Man rights or selling the Spider-Man IP back to Marvel. A Twitter user responded to My Time to Shine Hello's post by referring to their scoop as lies, arguing Sony Spider-Man video games were doing well. The scooper replied by clarifying that they weren't referring to the Spider-Man video games. When the Twitter community notes questioned My Time to Shine Hello's claim by referencing past scoops that were incorrect, the scooper defended their comments on Sony considering selling Spider-Man back to Marvel, saying it would be confirmed in time. And here's a tweet right here. I hear Sony seriously considering selling the Spider-Man IP back to Marvel. Rolla responds with lies. Sony are smashing these games. And he says he wasn't talking about the games. And again, and he responds, and then he goes, again, idiot community note. This will be confirmed in time. Make sure to rate this unhelpful. And then Alex responds with, there is truth to the things at My Time to Shine Hello says. You can agree with me or disagree with me on that, but they have been spot on the past, and there's no need to doubt them. At the very least, listen to what they have to say. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tweets here that you can go. It looks like there's like a huge anime arc going on right now, which honestly, I don't want this video to be dragged on, but Again, that is the rumor. And whether you feel, comfortable with the idea of the rights of the Spider-Man rights to be sold back to Marvel or not, it's not up to you in the end. But I think most fans would want Spider-Man to be, used whenever possible in the MCU and not be just restricted to just Sony and asking for Sony's permission anymore. I think Sony has really tainted the Spider-Man IP. Yes, Sony was involved with, like, let's say Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man No Way Home, which were huge box office successes. And I think it's really important that Marvel Studios gets them back because they would probably know what to do with Spider-Man a little bit better, in my opinion. So while some questions My Time to Shine's credibility, they received support from another reputable scooper, the Cosmic Circus Alex Perez. While Perez did not outright verify or deny My Time to Shine's Hello's claim, they said that there is truth to what they had to say and advised fans to at least listen to them. In a later post, Perez raised the fact that over the weekend, reports on the Sony Spider-Man universe's future have changed dramatically over a short period. First, it was reported that the Sony Spider-Man universe was ending after Kraven the Hunter. Then it was reported that Sony was going to reset the Spider-Man universe. Perez then clarified that they're not giving a clear statement on the Spider-Man franchise's future because everyone has some version of the truth, but not the whole truth, and it's why I wait. And as of this writing, Sony has not commented on rumors about the company selling Spider-Man back to Marvel. While the idea of Sony giving up the Spider-Man movie rights might seem preposterous, the possibility of seeing the wall crawler in the MCU seemed like an impossibility until Sony and Marvel Studios reached an agreement to essentially share the character for a period. Still, many internet scoopers have been wrong as often as they have been right. Even if Sony did consider selling Spider-Man back to Marvel, it's possible the idea was or will be dismissed. While Sony's Spider-Man universe movies have been box office duds, they arguably failed partly because they didn't have the franchise's most popular character. Giving up a properly as valuable as Spider-Man might be hasty and erroneous when the problem could be solved by actually having Spider-Man appear in these Spider-Man movies. On the other hand, Sony's handling of the character may mean fans want Marvel Studios to have full creative control of the Spider-Man. So Spider-Man 4 is in development at Marvel Studios, and there you have it. Again, nothing but big old rumors. Like I said before, just take everything that I'm discussing here with a huge grain of salt because these are just being reports and it's just hearsay from now on. But still, what are your thoughts about probably, Spider-Man heading back to Marvel Studios? I don't know, as far as I can't clarify what party had full creative control when it came to Spider-Man No Way Home or Far From Home and Homecoming, of course. I know it was a joint effort, and I knew they had to share the character and everything to make those movies, because technically, while all the Spider-Man movies from the MCU are MCU films, they are still Sony movies. And yeah, despite the fact that the Marvel Studios logo shows up in each of those movies at the beginning of each of those movies, they're still in fact Sony movies. As far as creative control goes, I'm not entirely sure who had creative control. Actually, I didn't really do that much research, but if you know, if you care to tell me, or if you have any idea as far as that, just let me know as well. But anyway, there you have it. What are your thoughts? Do you think the rights to Spider-Man should go back to Marvel or should they remain at Sony? Because honestly, what Sony movies are really good besides Spider-Man? I mean, I think Sony has the Fast and the Furious franchise, and those movies already suck. I think they should have stopped making them after the third one, but there's freaking 10 of them, and I think there's an 11th one coming out, and there was also a couple of spin-offs that came out too. Aside from that, they don't really have a huge, I guess you can call it a money cow or whatever. They only have Spider-Man as their huge cow, and that's pretty much it. But you let me know your thoughts. Again, should the rights of Spider-Man go back to Marvel or should they remain at Sony? And tell me why. And as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the notifications so you all don't miss anything. And I'll see you all in the next comic panel.